Hi, healthy family, welcome back to my space. On today's episode of Healthy Meals, I'm going to be teaching you how I achieved this very yummy looking egg sauce. So, in a clean, dry pot or a pan, saucepan, whichever one, add your vegetable oil. For this recipe, I made use of olive oil, but you can basically use any cooking oil of your choice. Okay, so in that plate, I have onions and some garlic, okay, which I chopped up in my chopper. That's why it's looking like this. But if you want to see your onions, you should just cut instead of using a chopper. But I love it this way, and that's why I had to do it this way. So I stirred it up and allowed it to sizzle up for a while before I added my pepper mix. So for my pepper mix, I have tatashe and shombo. Basically, there's no tomatoes. Tomatoes is currently not in season this period, so it's quite expensive. So, and then I didn't add the regular scotch bonnet because I didn't want the food to be so hot so that the kids around me can still enjoy it. But if you want the heat, you can as well add that. But for this particular recipe, I skipped it. Okay, so I had to stir it up with the onions and garlic, okay, and allow this to sizzle. So I turn to just ensure that everything incorporates together, and then I allowed this to sizzle for a while. Okay, now when you start seeing all this bubble, that's when you think of adding the other secret ingredients, which is the carrot. Now this carrot as well, I chopped it in my chopper. Again, if you'd want to see it bigger, you can as well do the cutting and not chopping, but for me, I prefer it this way, and that's why I had to pretty much chop virtually everything. So when this sizzle for a while, I add my 2 seasoning cube. That's just enough for this because I don't want it overly sweet. Okay, then I added my salt. For this recipe, I used sea salt, but you can basically use any salt of your choice. Now when you add all this, you have to do well in turning it properly. You don't want some part of your sauce tasting bland and the other part overly sweet, so it's better to just turn it up properly, and afterwards you allow this to sizzle for a while. Now when you see that it has turned up very well, that's when you add in your egg. Now, after pouring this up, don't cover it and allow it, because if you do that, the bottom part of your sauce is going to get burnt. So it's advisable that you start turning once you add up all the eggs, okay? The essence of doing this is for it not to get burnt under. Now, some people enjoy their egg sauce very lumpy. Where you can see a big lump of the egg, and some people don't like it like that. For me, I do not enjoy it very lumpy. I like to see it, just separated, not, so lumpy that when you're looking at it, it looks like, it's one yam. I don't know how to explain it better, but you get what I mean. So if you'd want yours to look very lumpy, then you have to be very careful with your stirring, because the more you stir it, the more they scatter. So if you'd want yours to be very lumpy, just stir for few minutes or few seconds and cover it up on low heat and allow it to sizzle, then you turn it off. But if you want it very how do I even explain it? Not lumpy, I think that's the better way to explain it. Just turn it, okay? Keep turning, stir it up very well, and ensure everything just add up together. So after doing your stirring, just to leave it on the heat for a while. But at this point, you need to turn down the heat of your stove, okay? So previously it was on medium heat while I was frying the pepper mix and the rest, and when I added the egg, I had to add it to high heat, okay? So but at this point, what you have to do is to bring it to the lowest heat, because you don't want it to get burnt while turning, okay? So when you turn and realize that it has gotten to the consistency you wanted, that it's no longer as lumpy as you want it to be, then you will now have to allow it to sizzle for a while before you add your last ingredient. See, this last ingredient I have to introduce to this meal takes it from 0 to 100. If you've never tried adding this to your egg sauce recipe, please, for the very first time, try it and give me your review in the comment section. See, it does so much wonders. And aside adding taste to your food, it also adds freshness. This is what I'm talking about. Fresh curry leaves. See, this leaf is everything. I think it's quite underrated because this leaf is so flavorful that just adding it to your meal, turning it up, and allowing it just mix up with your sauce, takes it from 50 to 100. Okay, like it is just so good. You've got to try it in your meal. So I added this into the meal and stirred it up together. Initially, I looked at it and I felt like it wasn't enough leaves inside. So I still had little remaining. I had to just wash them up and put it inside. And honestly, you don't need to cut this because it's very small. Do your final stirring and turn off the heat entirely, and your yummy mouth-watering egg sauce is ready. See, you've got to try this. I promise you, you won't regret it. Try it and let me know. Just look at what I'm having. I'll be waiting for you to try this in the comment section. I'm waiting for you to try it and give me your feedback. Okay, bye.